Hey team, me and the boys spent an entire day sawmilling at my place, and man was it fun. Such a cool hobby. First things first, we had to sharpen the saws. So these little guys we get from Princess Auto, and they fit in the Dremel, and they're quite cheap, and they break quite fast, but they are speedy when it comes to giving your chainsaw a quick sharpen, because I am all about time, and time is money. So here we are starting off with a bunch of logs. These are spruce, and they got a lot of knots in them and curves and a little bit of dry rot. So the outer cuttings are not of much use to me. Some lumber is nice and you can save it for fence boards or you can sell it or repurpose it, but not me. We're just slicing it off, and it was a great excuse to use as firewood. So we built a bit of an assembly line here where we set up these sawhorses and a platform with some spacing for the logs for the offcuts so that we could just chop them into firewood. So as I was milling, the boys were chopping them up into the correct sizes and putting them into the bucket of the Bobcat. And then as they did that, we just dumped them over by my firewood storage shed, as you've probably seen the video for already, and we stacked it in there. So it was a very efficient process, that's for sure. So I'm cutting, here's a good piece. I did save a few of those offcuts, right? I saved a couple 2-inch thick and 1-inch thick, depending on how the log was. If it wasn't too rotten or full of knots, then I did save a couple. But in the end, I've already got so many live edge pieces that are drying, and I didn't need any more. So the goal was just to square everything up into beams and get some firewood done at the same time. So here's a good shot. You can see what I'm doing. I'm going to run you through how the mill works a little bit. So it's got the deck, which is the flatness, and then you've got the log dogs. These are the dogs there that clamp onto the sides. And then I also have a couple jacks. So you see the jack there? I'm actually lifting it up to center the log. And that's how we decide where to cut. On our first cut, we center it, and then we flip it over and we drop that jack, and then it's flat on the deck. And we proceed with our second cut, and then we have to flip the log over and we have to plumb it. So there's a clamp on the other side, and that's all it is. It just locks in. We plumb it for these top cuts here, and then we flip it over and repeat the process. So this was a shorter log. We ended up moving those dogs closer together for a shorter span just to mill up some of those 6 and 7 footers that we had kicking around. Anything that was too big to split, we busted out the Bobcat, and this is the jackhammer, and it makes short work of splitting firewood. So it works amazing. I did build an attachment for that last year, but it kind of fell apart. So just the regular tip works good. Here's a few other logs that I've chopped over the last year or two. I had to get everything situated and organized into a nice neat pile, and I'll build a little roof to cover it.